All right, we continue the conversation about the tech evolution and its impact on higher learning. And Prof, before we went on here, I wanted you to talk about the aspect of funding in research, especially in universities. Is there enough funding for research when it comes to research in areas, especially in areas of technology, including AI?
Thanks, Mike. I think the truth of the matter is that if you asked anyone whether they have enough money, they'll always say they could do with more. So it's no exception for higher educational institutions. Of course, we, as a public institution, we get the bulk of our funding from the government of Kenya, and for that we appreciate it. But we also have to supplement our sources. So, for example, the National Research Fund, the NRF, hosts competitive research grants that are accessible to Kenyan citizens. And some of them are bilateral in the sense that they have been, they're in partnership with other institutions or nations beyond Kenya. Internally, we have an internal research fund at the university, which is accessible to staff. And that is required of us. So we are meant to put aside some of our budget to support research. And then there are also external grants that are accessible. So whether you want a Rockefeller grant or any other global agency, the Ford Foundation or others, which are accessible to us. So as part of the progression for an academic from lecturer to senior lecturer, associate to professor, you're expected to attract external grants, which also come with capacity building. So you end up mentoring students and staff, as well as physical equipment that you bequeath the institutions through those grants. Then in terms of funding for operations, as I mentioned, the bulk of the capitation comes from government. But as a university, we also have what we call income-generating units. And the activities around that, the chief of those, of what we call IGUs, the income-generating units, is our Machakos University Hotel and Conference Center. So this is a large institution that is open to the public, and we do business with anyone who wants to host conferences. We have a restaurant that is attached to that hotel. So most of the funding that we generate out of those kind of income-generating activities comes from there. We also have a fashion design unit, which also generates income, as well as making of detergents and other products that are competitively marketed.
Yes. What about the availability of research facilities now to students? Are there enough facilities that can enhance the aspect of research?
Indeed, Mike, we consider ourselves fortunate because of the partnerships we've had with the national government, particularly in the Ministry of ICT. We also have a relationship with Konza Technopolis, as mentioned. So recently we've equipped our labs with the cutting-edge technologies, both hardware and software. So when it comes to ICT, and Dr. Muya can attest to that, we are uniquely positioned to offer cutting-edge, kind of courses. And this is not only just for our students. Actually, it's open to community members. So any of the local communities, whether they be students from local schools, or even a community member with a bright idea that wants to use our facility. For example, we have something called a STEM Power Lab. And in that STEM Power Lab, and STEM is for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, we have what we call additive manufacturing, which is 3D printing, popularly known as. You can come in with a file, hire some of the equipment, print your 3D product. For example, you can create a prosthetic arm or even a cast for someone's for orthopedic applications. All that is available, and in that way, we consider ourselves quite fortunate. So in terms of equipment and staff, we have the kind of capacity. We can actually support those requirements.
Yes.
Maybe just to chip in on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so as Prof is saying, as Machakos University, we are lucky that we have the facilities, the requisite facilities for research and innovation. And one of our major facilities is called the Luban Workshop, which was established through the partnership between Machakos University. Then we have Tianjin City and Vocational College in China, Huawei Technologies, and Konza Technopolis. So within this facility, we have state-of-the-art equipment, actually. I mentioned the data center in this facility. We have smart boards that are there. So here we do training of different technologies that we had mentioned earlier. We also have Jitume Lab. Yeah, again, the government, through the Ministry of ICT and Digital Economy, is trying to encourage students to take some time, some 1 hour or 2 hours in the course of their studies, so that they do something which can help them to earn a coin. So we have the Jitume option. We also have the Ajiri option, the Ajira option. So recently, in Machakos University, the Jitume Lab was set up, which actually we got 100 state-of-the-art machines from Konza.
Yes.
And the lab is set up, it is up and running, it is open even for the public. There's a schedule. Our students can use it, student staff, and even people from outside.
What has been the reception on that? Especially because it's teaching about online aspects of earning money.
Yes. Yeah, the students are excited. Actually, there's a whole club, the Jitume and Ajira Club, which are being coordinated from out here by the ministry and other stakeholders. So students are, because apart from the different sources of funds that they have concerning their education, they also need at least something. So they can spare some time. They're excited about it. And I'm actually in Machakos University, I'm the patron of the Ajira Club. Yeah, so I monitor the activities. There are things we do together, and it is good. I also wanted to mention something concerning more facilities that are required. There are some models that when we want to run, especially for the current technologies, you need high-end hardware and software equipment, which may not be available in the current labs. That is across universities. Machakos University being not an exception. So for high-performance computing, again, coming back to the partnerships, the tech giants have options of virtual labs. Yeah, and Kenneth is also working around that. We can access virtual labs. That is still part of cloud computing and AI. And then we access infrastructure for high-performance computing, for example. So you may not be able to run your model on your machine, but when you access that platform, you are able to run your models very well and get the kind of results. And even researchers are able to use that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk about the challenges that higher learning institutions face, especially when it comes to keeping at pace with the rapid change in technological advancements.
Yeah, so one of the challenges is management of these various institutions. They need to actually embrace fully the technologies and basically understand the trends, the trends that are happening within the tech world. Then, of course, in terms of training of students, we need more training of trainers, or retooling. We tool and retool different trainers or different lecturers that are supposed to handle these particular courses. I think most universities, of course, all of them have qualified lecturers that are supposed to handle these areas. Yeah, so
I'd also want to add, apart from the infrastructural challenges, there's also attitudinal. So you'll find that, like us, we describe ourselves as digital migrants. The technology came when we were already mature and we tried to migrate into it.
Yes.
Our children and the students in our institutions are in that category of digital natives. So for them, technology is something that they are not alienated from. They actually embrace almost naturally. But there's a category I refer to as digital refugees. And those are the ones who try to flee from technology at any opportunity. And we have to win them over. And unfortunately, some of the attitudes that need to be overcome is to see technology as an ally and not as a threat, even for us as educators, so that we're able to work with the so-called digital natives. Yes.
I wanted to ask, are there exchange programs that you have between universities?
Indeed, Mike, we have very robust bilateral relations with a number of institutions. For example, earlier on I talked about the UNESCO Chair on Cloud Computing for Sustainable Development. The program on space science and surveillance is with a university in Italy known as Sapienza University in Rome, who are very strong in space science and satellite development. We've also developed those cube satellites.
Yes.
Machakos University is one of the few universities in the country that has done that. We have very strong relations, and we are now working on partnerships with the California Polytechnic at Pomona for smart agriculture, where we use the benefits of the Internet of Things to produce high-yield food and therefore mitigate food scarcity and improve food security. We have actually a number of institutions and partnerships which go beyond just practical institutions. So, for example, there's a lady called Dr. Claire Nelson, who is connecting us to a program that is looking at building an analog station in Mars. And they're already in Chalbi Desert near Marsabit. Wow. And Machakos University is contributing to that practically. One of our colleagues, actually, Dr. Engineer Charles Mwaniki, has participated in developing cooling systems for satellites. A program is known as Baridi Sana. So we've been actively working in this space through those kind of strategic partnerships. And we are constantly exploring new ones and expanding depending on the programs that we are trying to enter into. Yes.
I'd want you to talk about the opportunities within the... one of the things you mentioned was blockchain. What are the opportunities within this aspect of information communication technology?
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Yeah, so we have a myriad of opportunities that exist which we can explore in different areas. Blockchain technology basically handles different processes within a peer-to-peer scenario or a peer-to-peer network for purposes of transparency. And one of the main beneficiaries of this area is in supply chain management. Yeah, so we can use it in supply chain and other areas. It can also be extended in different sectors of the industry. But generally, there are so many opportunities around the technology areas, and especially on the emerging technologies that are currently coming up. Most of the things that we do in industry across healthcare, manufacturing, agriculture, etc., we need to embrace technology, blockchain, and the rest, basically as an enabler, because we want quality services, we want efficiency of these services, we want a way of monitoring the services, the kind of output that we get from these these processes. Yeah, so as an enabler, it basically helps in handling the aspect of time. What do we want to produce, at which rate, and the kind of results that we expect. And as I said earlier, the technology is not stagnant.
Yes.
They keep changing. And that's why we call them emerging technologies. So like right now in AI, we're talking about generative AI. In the next few months or few years, according to the research, we'll have another set or another front. Yeah. They keep mutating that way. So researchers need to keep up the pace of basically finding a way of consuming those particular technologies to enhance production. Yeah.
What are the areas that students are gravitating towards more in this aspect?
Yeah, so mostly in technology, it's basically the key areas that I'm mentioning. For us to have models that are able to run and perform various activities or solve problems, we would focus on the learning.
Yes.
The key thing that happens is machines are supposed to learn to do stuff. So we have machine learning, deep learning. That is the core. So whichever problem case that exists,
yes.
How are we able to bring about the learning aspect so that they are able to undertake the activities that they are supposed to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Prof, what do you see as the biggest opportunities and trends in the field of technology?
Thanks, Mike. I think robotics and AI is emerging to become a very exciting area. Of course, there's traditional disciplines that will be disrupted by AI and robotics, especially the repetitive and manual tasks. But if as academics, we continue to be more strategic in the way we operate, these become enablers that will actually accelerate our potentiality so that we're able to do more. But when you look at places like manufacturing or computational tasks, machines may end up replacing us within this century. But the uniquely human capabilities that can be complemented by machines, but hopefully will not be replaced by machines. Dr. Muye is an expert.
I wanted to ask you, are we going to see a case where AI will take over all the jobs?
No, I've pleaded with him to sabotage such strategies because we need to remain human.
Yeah.
We don't want to be replaced by machines. Yes. But the idea is that this knowledge is moving so rapidly and evolving so constantly that we have to stay abreast of all these developments, but not only as followers, but also as people who are actually creating through research, driving the agenda. So, for example, I think Kenyans are among the highest consumers of TikTok globally per capita. Actually, I think we are the highest consumers. But now, what can we do to tell our youth to become producers of content, not just consumers of content? And there's this concept which is a contraction of two words, which is producers and consumers, which is prosumers. So if our students can become prosumers of content, so they both produce it and consume it, these are the kind of skills that now we need to equip them with. Yes.
The aspect of developing soft skills. And also that is going to play a very big role in how now the students get in the job market. What do you think about that?
Okay, thank you, Mike. Yeah, so that is an aspect that we induce within the curricula. There's actually a very robust process of curriculum development. Yeah, right from needs assessment all the way to consideration at the Senate in the university, and then moving on to the Commission for University Education. So one of there are actually two key aspects that are important. One of them is the soft skills. Yeah, for example, are students able to communicate when they get out there? They could be having very brilliant ideas, a very good innovation, a very good project, but they are not able to explain it. They are not able to demonstrate it out there. So that's a very important aspect. Number two is the aspect of critical thinking, because for them to navigate the whole aspect of innovation and the projects that they do, they need to critically think, analyze the process, come up with the different options that are supposed to be considered there. So the aspect of soft skills is very important. We normally incorporate it within our curricula, even as we develop them for computing and other areas. The other aspect that is also very important, which we incorporate in our curricula, computing and others, is the aspect of entrepreneurship. Yeah, because we are trying to train students who are able to get out there and then they come up with startups. They don't really be job seekers, but job creators. Yeah, so, and I'm very proud of a number of our students. One of them is called Mr. Umbati, who is running a farm. He's our graduate. He's running a farm right now, and they do development, mostly AI related. Yeah, so soft skills, very important. We incorporate it within the curricula. And of course, it also boils down to the kind of training of how the students gain skills within a class. You know, we have the traditional pedagogical training that used to happen, where you have a lecturer coming on board, students are there, the lecturer is here, and then there's no much interaction. So it was just the lecturer pumping information to the student, and that is it.
It's like a monologue.
Yeah, it's a monologue situation.
To Dr. point, growing up, IQ was very important. This intellectual quotient, which was something that we were told was a combination of nature and nurture. But through the multiple intelligence approach, which is what we embrace now, what he's been discussing is social intelligence, SQ, but also emotional intelligence, EQ. And we found the people who had moderate IQ when we were younger have become extremely successful because of their social intelligence and their networking skills. So we expose our students to this multiple intelligence approach so that they develop a whole person, a comprehensive approach to a person's development, not just intellectually, but also emotionally and socially, so that they are well-rounded and they're able to interact because social intelligence makes sure that you know how to leverage connections, how you build social capital that benefits you in whatever you do. Emotional intelligence is how you deal with your own issues.
Yes.
Like, how do you deal with frustration?
Yes.
You've heard, unfortunately, of students taking their lives or taking other people's lives because of a breakup in a relationship. So it's important that our students are exposed to this multiple intelligence approach, and through our Dean of Students division, with the student counseling and others, we are able to then support the academic project with emotional and social intelligence components.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Omuya, let me start with you. Your closing remarks.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you, Mike. Higher education is revolutionizing right now, and we need to think of how we train our students. Yeah, because the technology is here.
Yes.
So two key things. One, what is the focus of training for our students? What are the kind of skills that we need for these students when they go out there, the requisite skills that are needed? So as the academia, we need to shift. We change the pedagogy in a way that we do the right training. So when the students get out, at least they have the skills that are required for the same.
Yes.
The second aspect is technology is here with us.
Yes.
Yeah, there are people who would say, oh, when technology comes, it will replace us. Like now, AI. Okay, we have three aspects. There's the aspect of weak AI, then we have strong AI, then we have super AI. So the super AI aspect is what basically is bring about some kind of jitters. When we reach that level, then we'll have machines that are able to do super stuff that humans are not able to do. So I think we need to accept that the technology is here with us. It is changing how things are being done across the different sectors. We need to embrace it, and we find a way of making technology work for us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Prof.
Thank you. And thank you for having me.
Thanks, Eric. Dr. Omuya sometimes scares me when he says super AI may replace us. But what it means for us as humanity is we need to ask some fundamental questions about what it means to be human. And hopefully this conversation of ours is going to be part of that. We know that technology is a brilliant servant, but a terrible master. So we don't want technology to take over our lives. We'd like to work with it. Tomorrow, Machakos University begins its 6th international conference. As you know, I mentioned about publish or perish, but we also embrace it in a positive way, that this is how we bring our scholarly community and much wider globally together to advance this knowledge. In fact, technology is going to be core to this conversation. But we also remind ourselves that Africa has just about 1.35 billion people. 70% of our people are less than 35 years old. They're youth in the expanded view. And the median age in Africa is 19 years. 19 years, and some of those are our students. So we need to embrace technology to equip this huge army so that they can take their place in the 21st century, not only to build Kenya, but also to contribute to developments across the world. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, asanteni sana.
Thank you.
That is Professor Mugendi Mutwarida, who is the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration and Finance and Planning in Machakos University, and also Dr. Eric Omuya, who is the Chair Department of Communication, Information Technology at Machakos University, speaking to us on impact of technology on higher learning. This is where we cap this discussion. Don't go too far. Good Morning Kenya continues shortly. My name is Mike Megwe. Stay with us.
Mizimu imesema atakayekuwa kiongozi ni yule pete itamchagua.
Bahari imechafuka. Mrithi wangu ni yule atakayeniletea vuo la kuoga.
Sasa na hili vuo wachana nalo, wakati wake umepita.
Pete hii ni ishara ya utawala.
Huu uongozi tusimwachie Jasiri.
Kwa nini uongozi usimwende Jasiri? Na wauliza nyinyi, Jasiri ana nini?
Ukiva hakuna